Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. It's your DFB uncle, Eli, and the DFB director himself, Saya.
Hey man, listen. Hit the record button right now because you know what time it is. Let's go.
Yes. You know what time it is?
That's right.
It is that time of the day where we talk about artistry of life.
Of life.
As the partakers of life.
That's right, man.
Very important.
Practitioners,
Make sure to subscribe and like our podcast.
Any person going through life has got to understand that, that growing and learning and the character that it takes to growing and learning it, man, like it is what people call like a virtue. It's virtuous, man, to be that way. And when you're talking about success, there's levels to success, right? And it's not just a financial or just something that you can experience and from a materialistic point of view and say, well, I got this, I got that, so therefore I'm more successful than anybody, man. Please don't make that mistake, man. Because if at the end of the day, if you don't have love, if you don't have happiness in your heart, man, and in your present day, like when you get up, like we talk, man. So when we get up every day, we are getting up with this vibrant energy to just get into life. And we experience life on such like just exponential level that that's what I would call it. It's just exponential, man. Like we're just connected, man. Like, and we have conversations where we're like, I was just thinking that, and we just move about life in such a manner that that we're like, man, you someone who doesn't live life that way can't say, well, I'm more successful than you. Like you can't, because you don't even know the artistry of life. You don't even know how to live life.
Yes.
You don't know how to live life, man.
Yes,
so,
artistry of life. No, that is true, man. Today I was on my way back, from work. I was listening to this YouTube. I play like random YouTube videos, just to listen to some, like quotes or learning, because learning occurs every day and every time, right? And one of it is just talking about life, experiencing life, being in the moment, in the present, and I was just thinking about like what you just said, right? We wake up the first thing in the morning, man. I woke up this morning, like my meditation, I was just like smiling, man, for no reason, man. And I was like, it's like you say, exponential, man. It's like, just from there, it just keeps going. Like I hit everyone up. Hey, good morning, how is everyone doing? Like they can feel the energy through the text, man. And it's beautiful. So when you say, if someone that doesn't experience that, how can you say you're successful, right? Because that's where I say like success starts from within, right? Not all this material stuff. You can have all that, but like you say, no happiness, no joy, there's no joy or peace, then I don't know what that success looks like.
Absolutely. And like when you talk about like just getting up in the morning, one of our universal phrases, when consciousness hits your brain, you just cannot wait to just get up, get into it, and immerse yourself in the day, right? And this conversation can go in two explicit ways. But the first way that I would like to take this, man, is something that I learned from my children, right? And my youngest has this thing, when she gets up, in the morning and we go through our morning routine and we get outside. And when she sees the sun, she's like, wow, it's the sun. Hi, sun. And it's like talking to the sun. And I'm looking at this and I'm watching this. I'm like, I'm not talking to the sun. What is going on between you and the sun like you're so excited to see the sun, right? And then, and fast forward throughout the day, like as we're like traveling throughout the day and we're on our journey to get to our destination, like I'm listening to her, and she's like, huh? Like she's looking at the mountains, and she's like, look, it's a mountain. And I'm like, yeah, that is a mountain, but no, like I'm looking at it like, yeah, it's just a mountain.
Yeah.
But no, she's like, it's a mountain.
Wow.
Like that is a mountain, you know. And then sometimes she looks at the mountains and she's like, she calls it a cano. Like that's volcano,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now fast forward through the day, like, you know, she sees the moon, and then it's like, look, it's the moon. Hi, moon. And then like now she's talking to the moon, and like she just goes through a whole day of like living life. I'm like, what level are you living life on? You know what I'm saying? Like, because, and then, you know, when I remember the first time I experienced that, and I was like, okay, man, you're tapped into something that I clearly am not tapped into, that millions, billions of human beings aren't tapped into. Right? They wake up in the morning, you know, they got another chance, another inhale, exhale, another consciousness hit their brain. They got another chance to live, to be great, to do things. And then, you know, the sun is shining, and they go outside like, you know, bah humbug, you know, man, what, right?
Yeah.
And go through, and they pass by mountains and clouds and many different things. And then, oh, man, it's too hot today. It's too cold today. The sun is shining, too cold today. Man, it's raining today, it's this today, right? Like, then, you know, the day goes by, man, today was a bad day, worst day of my life. Like, really, you're still alive. Like, you know, so that lesson that I learned from my own children, I was like, man, I remember one whole day, living a whole day like that with my kid, and I was like, when did I lose that?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I thought back, how many days did I actually spend not living? Not living. Right? You know, just existing, just going through the day, like, you know, I gotta go to a job, not realize, oh, I gotta go to a job, it's toxic, this person is toxic, not realizing that, you know, yeah, maybe the person is unpleasant or whatever, right? But I got a job. Right? And it's paying money. And it's money that I'm using to live off of. Right? So be grateful for that. Right? Like, you know, I was able to breathe on my own, like, you know, capacity. I didn't need a machine, right? Like, be grateful for that. Like, I can actually see, right? Be grateful for that. Like, just so many opportunities and different aspects of that day that I could be grateful for, and say, you know what, man, like, maybe it's not optimal and ideal to the way that I wanted it to go, but just be grateful, man, and live and experience, right? Like, and I was like, man, how many days did I spend not living my life? And I was like, I remember, I was like, man, like, never again, man. Like, just don't take any day, any moment, any experience for granted, man.
Yes, man. That is, you know, that is beautiful, man. That is everything, you know. I mean, especially like you said, you know, your daughter, like the energy, man, like, man, like always living in the moment. And there's so much to learn from kids, man. I'll tell you that, right? There's so much to learn from them, you know, living in the moment and then their imaginations. You know, one of the lessons we went through, right, was like, when did we start controlling our imagination, right? Like, why can't you just, you know, like as a kid, like, yo, I could fly. You fly, but you know, then we started having this, you know, restraints, like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then from there, we learn, you know, how to like control our imaginations, right? But you learn from there, living in the moment, you know, experiencing life. And you're right, man. Remember what you said on one of our podcasts, right? If you haven't listened to it, check our podcast out, right? You're like, if you want to prove, right, about, you know, how every one of us were equal and how life has humbled everyone, COVID. COVID has humbled everyone, man. And you're out there alive, kicking. Like, you don't even need oxygen tank. You know, like, oh man, I gotta go to work today. So what? You know, like, oh man, you have another day, man, to breathe, to live, to drive, to, like, you've been driving to work? Oh man. Like, and I remember when I started my meditation, the first thing I learned was, you know, gratitude. And after I understand and I truly truly learned what gratitude meant, right, I started viewing life differently. Differently. It was the vibration was just high all the whole time, right? Just thankful for every single thing.
Yes.
Every single thing. Yes. Oh man, I'm awake. Like I can go to the gym and do what I love doing, right? Yeah. Can drive to work, whatever it is, right? I'm not. Yeah, that is everything, man. That is beautiful. Make sure to subscribe and like our podcast.